So my shop is, it's basically in a rural area. We have garbage service, but there aren't really any rules. So they'll take just about anything, which is great because I often have bulky stuff to throw out, like plywood remnants from the CNC or packaging materials from large tool purchases. And I can't always just set that stuff by the road because it'll blow away. So I'm going to make something like my neighbors have, which is basically a garbage cage. But of course, I can't keep anything simple. I've been playing with some mid-century modern patterns, and this shape forms the basis of what I have landed on. The cage part of the cage is basically this repeated a lot. So I got a lot of cutting to do. Now, I've got to cut all of these rings to make this shape. What would you call this shape? I don't know. Reminds me of your mom for some reason. There are 37 of these in my design, which is 74 halves. And I am not going to cut all of these by hand like I did last time. So I made a fixture. All right, that's got to be fixable. I thought it was flying that way. Yeah, that shouldn't take any time at all. By the way, I just ordered these teeny toggle clamps. I can already tell these are going to come in really handy for jigs and fixtures. I always link to my tools down in the video description. So now I have got a lot of little metal parts to deburr, and I am loath to do this by hand. Besides, I've been looking for an excuse to get one of these for quite some time. I just went and picked this up at Harbor Freight. It is a vibratory tumbler, and it is designed to handle jobs exactly like this. Got some of this ceramic media. Add some water. I don't know how much. A little soap for lubrication. I don't know how much. And this stuff is sodium carbonate. I read that if you add this, it will prevent the parts from rusting. I don't know how much. And flip it on. Ooh. Actually, you know what? I want to see what it's doing. You know what? This is a lot more fun to watch than I thought it would be. I kind of want to upload a 10-hour video of just this. Probably get more views than this one. All right, I'm going to put this outside and let it run while I work on the frame. Most of these sides are going to be finished in wood. So I am adding a 1-inch frame, a flange, with a nice little inset. The inset adds a nice subtle detail, and the flange will help keep the board secure. And speaking of secure, I sure do like to keep my data secure. They really should pay me extra for these segues. Of course, I am talking about Delete Me, who I use and who has been a sponsor of this channel for some time now. You probably already know there are countless companies out there selling your personal information, your social media, addresses, your phone numbers, court records, the names of your family members, and their personal information. These companies are called data brokers. They compile a profile about you and sell it to anyone, including scammers. That is where Delete Me comes in. You just fill out a simple form and your part is done. From there, Delete Me scours countless broker databases for your information and on your behalf submits the opt-out requests that obligate those brokers to remove your data. You don't really have to do anything else, and Delete Me will continue to monitor for new occurrences and will send you updated reports detailing what they've found. Protect yourself from spammers and scammers. Go to joindeleteme.com/Wesley20, where new customers can get 20% off all consumer plans with code Wesley20. That's joindeleteme.com/Wesley20 with code Wesley20. I am running very behind on this project. I'm spending way more time than I should on what is essentially a trash can. So I have to try to process this wood as quick as I can. I'm just using cheap pine 2x4s for this. I'd prefer something without knots in it, but I don't want to pay for it. To protect it for the outdoors, I'm using Total Boat's penetrating epoxy, which I'm going to follow with their gleam varnish for UV protection. I did the same thing on a sign I made a few years ago for a drive-in movie theater. I was able to visit that sign a couple of years later, and the wood still looked brand new. Since this garbage bin is just for me, I'm using it as an opportunity to experiment a little bit. On that sign, I used 3 coats of epoxy, which I know works well. For this, I'm only using 2. I can monitor it over the next couple of years and see if it makes any difference. This bit here, this is also an experiment. I went ahead and ran all of these parts in the tumbler for about 6 hours, and they came out great. There are no sharp edges anywhere, no rust either, so the sodium carbonate worked. A couple of the larger burrs did not get completely knocked down, but there's nothing really sharp, so I'm not gonna worry about it. When I started this project, I was looking at a lot of like mid-century and Art Deco gates and wallpaper patterns, that sort of thing. And I got really curious if I could make a 3-dimensional, slightly complex pattern just using standard metal stock. This bit here, this is just Schedule 40 pipe. So I ran myself a fixture over on the robot, and I'm gonna see how well this bit here does when I repeat it a whole lot. I've gone ahead and added bevels to all the rod pieces. Give my weld bead someplace to go. All right. That went a lot smoother than I expected. Oh, I missed a spot. Yeah, yeah. See, when you weld, it can cause parts to bend in the direction of the weld. But I'm wondering if I can't just bend this back into shape. Maybe I should wait till it cools. But you know what? That's turned out really nice, actually. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Now, I'm not overly concerned with what is going on with my hair. I look like I just woke up from an open mouth nap. I am not terribly concerned with these little gaps where things connect here. All my tacks are going to be on the back. I'm not going to bother to fill this in and grind it down or anything. I'm just going to leave it like this because it's not really meant to be seen up close. So I think this is going to look great. I gotta say, this is actually kind of fun. It's like a George Nelson puzzle. I went back, by the way, and re-welded all of these because my first attempt was not very good. But I have stress tested them now. Breathe, damn you, breathe. And they seem good. And because I know it's going to come up, I'm not really concerned about deterring animals. Weirdly enough, in the more than 30 years my family's been out here, I have never one time seen a single raccoon. Skunks, sometimes. Rabbits. Saw an armadillo once. On Easter, weirdly. Although I guess that could have been a rabbit in a spacesuit. Snakes. I hear coyotes at night, but they generally keep their distance. Oh. Besides, this isn't really intended for edible garbage. I've got a separate can for that. Now, I've got one last major step I have to accomplish here, and that is to mount all of the wood in here. I always prefer fasteners to adhesives whenever possible because I like to make things easily repairable whenever I can. However, with this, that is a lot of visible screws and a lot of holes I don't want to drill. So I am using silicone. I use this a fair amount in my sign work. It hasn't let me down yet. It should hold everything in here just great. And if one of these ever does get damaged for whatever reason, I can cut the silicone with a knife and pop it out. I was going to take this outside and show it to you in situ, but it's kind of heavy now, so I'm going to wait for my nephew to show up and help me move it. Plus, I'm thinking about laying down a white gravel bed so I don't have to worry about grass growing underneath it. Oh, and I added these gas struts. They were totally unnecessary, but they were like 20 bucks.